first, I guess we got to just talk about what the definition would be of breaking a generational curse, or how we value it.
Right. So we saying because you say curse, which if it's negative, it is a curse. I say cycle, which we still would be talking about a negative thing. So if I say to you, I couldn't teach you what I didn't know because my father didn't teach me because he didn't know because his father didn't teach him. So when you have your son, which you have your son now, you have to say you're going to break that cycle. Like there's some things I didn't teach you that you felt like I should have taught you. Now, I'm not speaking for you. Maybe you think I taught you everything. But of course, there's some things that I lacked on because I didn't know myself.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking of how to determine what is that search. That like I said, can't use the word curse, but what cycle?
You can use curse.
What cycle? Because you're right, curse.
The cycle would be lack of education. It's the lack of education.
But you didn't lack educating me.
So of course I appreciate that you think I didn't, but there was some things I could have done better.
Okay.
But the reason, so I guess I use it as an excuse by saying the reason I didn't is because I didn't know. So it might sound like an excuse, but it's kind of factual. Like I wasn't that educated myself, right? Like I could have set you down and say, hey, let's read these books. But I wasn't a book reader. Right?
So I get you. So, but then that means that, but saying that means that you would expect every parent to be exceptional. Like, when just hear me out real quick. You didn't drink, you didn't curse, and you taught me so many more values that you can't say that this is a cycle that your father did. So I know you're saying that just this education piece.
Well, no, okay, right. So I think I'm not saying that I didn't break the cycle, right? I broke somewhat of the cycle.
I got you.
Yeah,
I wanted to eliminate all cycles, all negative cycles.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I didn't break the cycle because first of all, because I raised you. You know what I'm saying? So like granddad didn't raise me when I was younger. So I broke that cycle by. Now, when we talk about the other kids, that cycle that granddad had and his father had, I still carry that because I didn't have them because I wasn't there for them in the household with them.
Yeah. But see, then again, we still got to put a limit on what are you talking about. Do you think that you were more involved in my siblings' life than granddad was of the other kids? So, did you attend to your kids more than he may have?
Financially, for the most part, I did. But because of the distance, you know what I'm saying? So if kids call me and say, hey, can you help me with this? And I try to help them with that. Is that better than me being there to take them to ballet or to basketball practice?
I mean, was some things out of your reach?
That was out of my reach, but it was my fault that it was out of my reach. Like, and we can't go back and change it.
Then that means you're saying your faults are a cycle which everybody's going to make faults. Like saying that you had a child in California when you were in California. That wasn't a mistake. You happened to move back. Your child just stayed in California. So you can't say that's something that anybody can even learn from. Because I can go to California and...
but so if... And I guess it depends on your morals and what you believe in, if you're a Christian, because the way I was living wasn't really moral. It wasn't being a Christian. or any religion that you would look at, unless it was one of the religions and say you can have 5 wives.
So saying that, I'm thinking that what you did is indicative of what 20-year-olds do. Right. But now that you mention those things, it's mostly just our 20-year-olds. It's not the Asian 20-year-olds. It's not, other cultures 20-year-olds. It's more of just our culture 20-year-olds that's having these kids and being out there. So,
well, we're not gonna say that it doesn't happen.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not a cycle. Yeah. Right. So that's what I'm saying. We're talking about breaking the cycle. Right. So that's where it starts at then, I guess.
So once I started learning, I tell people, I ain't started learning till I'm in the 40s or whatever. But once I started learning, then I'm supposed to tell you, hey, morally, this is what you're supposed to do, and you're not supposed to live like this. Like morally.
So how do you think that played with your kids? Do you think that, because none of your kids are like that, not saying that you're in a bad way, but none of your kids followed that step. None of them. You got 5 kids.
Which, it broke the cycle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That broke the cycle.
So you broke the cycle. But
well, I didn't break it. I didn't break the complete cycle. I hopefully people learn from what I've been through and what they've been through and what they've seen.
But but you can't say that and then talk about cycles, because if we're talking about cycles, you talking about what your father did, you did. What my father did, I do.
Well, now if you break it.
So then I broke it.
Then you broke it.
So then how do all... I get it. So then how do all your kids just happen to break it?
Because they learn. They learn something that I didn't learn.
That's a high probability, though. That's like all 5 of your kids. There has to be something in there. And my point is, some common denominator made all 5 of your kids not do it.
And I'm saying maybe because... So, if you know how you feel as a kid and your father's not there, right? Then that's not what you want for your kid. Or that's not how you want to live your life.
No, I get it, but again, I'm just saying about the cycle thing. So how does that play? You see what your father did, you didn't like it, so you did it anyway. Well, not you specifically.
No. So if we let's talk about me specifically.
Okay.
So I saw what he did, right? Now, the love I had for my father was, I saw what he did, I know how I felt, but I loved him so much that it almost didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see it as, I'm not gonna
be like my father, because I want to be like my father.
Exactly.
So what do you think? Where do you think that crossed over between your generation and my generation to say, because I love my father?
Because I say, hey, don't do this.
What? Yeah, you did.
Of course I did.
You definitely did.
I tell people, I remember, and I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember pulling my pay stub out and say to you and Andre, hey, y'all see how much I make? And then y'all look at the number, and then I say, now look at the number of what I bring home because of what I have to put out in child support.
Yeah, I think you did.
So if you're having kids out of wedlock, and you and that woman break up, then this is what you lose. Like, you and I could have lived better if I had the more income coming in.
Right? That's everybody.
Well, I know.
But it was
my mistake that brought that on, though. It was my fault that I'm going through this. And not that I ever pointed a finger at anybody or blame anybody.
So I'm thinking about cycle, right? And like you said, I'm not pointing to blaming anybody, but if you did what you saw, would that be entirely your fault? You only did what you saw.
So when I'm talking to the kids and I'm trying to explain this is why I did it. This is what I knew. This is how I lived. This is how I came up. How do you think that kid take it? for the most part, they think you should have known better, right? Then you and I know, like you said, 20-year-olds do some 20-year-old stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know better.
Because, like you said, you want to talk better.
Wouldn't talk better, right? So
it was all
so
the
how do you
examples
know
that you
better?
had.
Exactly.
So I guess the generational curse cycle breaks when the person realizes it and then makes those changes for the ones under.
Exactly.
So I guess the point is finding out where it is where you went wrong and fixing those things and letting people under you know that, hey, look, this is where I went wrong. I want you to be like me, but I want you to be the better version of me.
Exactly. That was perfect. And that's what I tried to do.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
And the reason why I came up with that is because that's exactly what you did.
Right.
And that's probably why.
So it's easier for us because you was always with me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had to explain that to the other kids because I wasn't there.
And because then they think you should have just been there.
Right. But, you know, to their benefit, they're so intelligent that they get it. Like, I had that conversation with them and they got it. You know, and they forgave me. You know,
and it's better getting that earlier than like later, and then you get that talk like, hey, Dad, you could have did better.
Yeah. Because I might need y'all to take care of me.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just joking.
You'll be all right.